Very, very good.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Very good.
Yeah, and we appreciate your effort in our industry.
Right.
Love life.
Great. Let's talk about your union and, of course, what you guys do. App-based workers. Who are you guys?
Yeah, app-based worker is not new again because we are the app-based workers that work with all these app companies like Uber and Bolt and Ally. These are the companies that we work with and we carry from point A to point B, which is not at least 70% of the citizens, Lagos State and some parts of the country, they know the importance of our industry.
Right.
Unlike before, you know.
Okay, so anybody that's making use of apps and they are using it for transportation, they belong to your bodies. Is that what it means?
Yes, they belong to our body. So these are the people that they belong to our union. Whether you use our app to deliver a parcel or you deliver a cake, you deliver a move from human being from point A to point B, these are the people that belong to our union. When you hear the name of app, anybody that is using the app to collect order, to collect work, let me use it like that, from point A to point B belong to our union.
So apart from those that are in the transport sector, so we can say those that are making use of apps like ordering for goods, for delivery and all of that, they also belong to your union?
Yes, you know, the work they do is from the app, and they move goods from point A to point B, like we are moving human beings from point A to point B. So if they are collecting order from the app, they belong to this union.
Right.
You know, we are just coming up.
Right. So, but I'm majorly concerned about the transport aspect of it. So, those of you that are in this area, so what are the apps that are used for transportation?
You know, we use Uber boats for transportation. And if you look at it very well, I think, Oteri, you did not deal in this environment because you are one of our pillars that always support us every day to force our step up. In fact, when people have not even know us very well, you know, the industry is, you know, coming up larger and larger every day. So we work with many apps. We have many apps now, including InDrive, including even the large ride that, you know, they migrate with the private organizations that want to bring back the new cars to Lagos State and empower some youth on that aspect.
Right.
You can see how the expansion is being moving from, like when we talk about it, about 2017 to this present time, 2025.
Right.
You can see how it's increased.
So in terms of membership now, what does the strength look like? How many members make up Alton?
No, we have about 10,000 members in our platform now that make up the Alton. But we have more than that. I will tell you now that as I'm talking to you now, I'm in the academic workshop with ITUC Africa. Organize the academic workshop for the platform workers so that we can discuss. You know, as I rightly told you, there are going to be a convention of ILO June 2nd. And it has coming up globally to discuss about platform workers and what they need to put in. If you look at it very well, there is not a particular national regulation, not only in Nigeria, in Africa too. I can tell you that because I organize Africa and part of Nigeria too. I move around to see how they do the regulation. So the world is still up towards the app transport so that they can be able to, you know, put some kind of definite regulation that can be able to go nationally for the people that are working there.
So as we speak right now, there's no national framework for it, no national policy for app-based workers?
Yes, there's no national policy for app-based workers, although the Lagos State tried. Among the states in Nigeria, it's only Lagos State that just, like, you cause something halfway for the regulation by that time. You could reconnect 2020 that the Lagos State to the regulations when they bring us together and what have. Although it's a work in progress, but there is no national regulation, not only in Nigeria, even Kenya, South Africa, every part of the Africa, there is no national regulation. And that is the reason why Israel discussion is very key to us, very germane to us, so that we can be able to have what Nigeria can ratify on the platform work.
Okay, so let's talk about the work now, because we're trying to really identify your place in the transport sector. You guys work by, transporting people from one location to the other, offering something like that looks like taxi services. Is that not correct?
Yes, you are right.
Right. So how has the work been?
Well, the work is very, 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 difficult, and there is no improvement in terms of welfare and what have you. And the what causes is algorithm. Algorithm is the one they use in the place of HR. And moving from point A to point B, from point A to point D through the GPS and what have you, these are the ones that calculated your money. And at the end of the day, you don't have a good connectivity like internet, or you don't have a good phone that can be able to withstand some kind of fluctuation of the network. It may affect your income. You see, all those things are technically solved problem, but we are trying to see the way we can work around in a way that the hub companies can understand what we are going through, and they can be able to, leverage on certain part of. For example, if you have a problem with the rider, the algorithm will just yank you out of the platform. We want an illustration that we interspace it with human beings to really know whether the driver really do that or is not doing that before it being kicked out of the platform. These are the things we are trying to bring on board. Secondly, the issue of welfare and the payment of the driver and what that is very, 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 very low. And most of the drivers cannot even maintain their cars with the situation of that. We know we are passing through a lot of things in the country, not only in Lagos State, but the fact remains that if this our company can be able to leverage or have a kind of sympathy on the people that are working on their platform, it will be very, very good.
Okay, so let's put it in perspective now, Comrade Ayoade. So there's no defined agreement between the drivers and the app companies on how much they should earn. Is that what it means?
Yes, there's no defined agreement. It depends on what is calculated for you and what's pop up from your app. That is what it determines. Even the drive that slightly change their template of operation by talk to the rider before you go and pick the rider and agree on what they peg it there. If you look that up, they peg it there that you cannot go beyond this or you cannot go beyond that. So that means they are still using indirectly the same system that Uber and Bolt are using. So these are the things. Actually, the major problem is that most of the people in our system, even including the hard company, does not really understand the certain things that it needs to understand. Because one, the classification is there. Well, is it a driver partner you have, or is it a contractor you have, or what are you even doing in that platform? So all these things needs to put in perspective that will be a win-win for three players in this environment. We are talking about people like you that patronize us, because I know you make use of us.
Right.
We talking about the driver himself, and we're talking about app companies. So we can have a win-win this in a way that you will not pay much, and the driver will have something that's tangible. And they have to do that by this issue of commission. At times when we work this commission, they take more than 35%, they take 30%, all these things are the ones that drain the pocket of, the driver. These are what issues that we can tackle from the beginning and move on with.
Okay, all right. Just give me a second. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning on Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives, we're trying to identify and properly situate the place of app-based workers in the transport equation. Comrade Ibrahim Ayoade is the General Secretary of Amalgamated Unions of App-Based Transport Workers of Nigeria. Victoria Island Corridor, I understand this morning that they are receiving with an unusual high influx of vehicles inwards Civic Center, proceeding through the Ram Bridge, moving inwards Falomo, while traffic from Civic Center connecting Law School all the way through Uzumba, by the way, is looking good at the moment. We can tell you no impediment cited, and traffic managers on ground managing the situation. All right, so Comrade Ayoade Ibrahim, Now we have the relationship between you and the companies not as rosy as it should be. Any form of intervention from government at the different states?
To be sincere with you, the intervention the government is doing are not really, giving us benefits for the drivers. And at times it's not the problem of government, it's the problem of the system of how those templates is being introduced to Nigeria and every part of the world. So the major problem now is the government needs to really understand that we're supposed to find a thin line of how to make sure that the driver get more money so that they can maintain their car, they can be on the road, and they can be able to feed their family. Most of the drivers cannot get that now. So in this situation now, you cannot, put 100% blame on the government or put 100% blame in anybody. But what we are trying to do, we have been fighting for about 8 years. Let us even get this industry clear and understand how we can be able to join together and win together, and everybody go home happily. These are the situation we can have, because this is where we are doing. We don't have any other thing. So I believe with what is coming up now from the top, I believe if you come down to Nigeria, our government, not only Lagos State, even Nigeria as a whole, they will look at it and see the way they can be able to make it benefit for everybody in that ecosystem. And, as the situation in the country, most of the people need to go to that place to make it money and what have you. So these are the things that we need us to really regulate it and be able to really know the ball. That is one aspect. The other aspect is the issue of security. Thank God that there's a network of video camera in Lagos State now. Most of the places now have the video camera, they capture this, they capture that one. Is helping us, but not fully. But we want the government of Lagos State to do more in a way that they expand those CCTV cameras to a remote area like Yanapaja, like all those remote, because these are the places that is, very dangerous for us in the night. Not like your place there in Ikeja, Governors Road. We don't need those things again, those areas. Let's put it in the remote area so that they can be captured the real life of what is going on. Secondly, in the night, let them increase more surveillance for us in the night, like area like also the Mosque, Yanapaja, all those stuff, so that our members can have confidence to work in the night.
So let me just ask. So let me ask Comrade Ibrahim, is it to say that you guys work 24 hours?
Yes, we work 24 hours. But many people are not working in the night if you don't understand. For example, now, if I work in the night, very close to your office, there is where I stand, elephant house. So if I have a request to be an approach at 10 o'clock in the night, I won't take it. But if I have a request to TRA, PI, Lekki Phase 1, even not Aja, not Paddy Road, so I won't go to those places. So in the night, there's some areas that you can, go there at any time. Like when I told you, like TRA, Aja, like Airport area, like CI, like Ikoyi, like Lekki Phase 1, Lekki Phase 2. We can go to that place at any time. Let us expand the security to cover some point areas that the people have been hiding to do, bad things to our members, because a lot of people have been killed in those remote areas.
So you can say for sure that some of your members are exposed to some very, very nefarious activities of criminals.
Yes. It's a two-way. The first part is from the hard companies, and we have been saying this for many years, and they don't heed to our cry. It's people profiling. For example, you now, you will see my details if I want to pick you from office. But I won't see your details. I won't know what kind of person you are until I reach you, until I get to you. That is number one. Number two, let the hard company put it there. If I'm good there to pick 4 people, let that be grown that they will register people that is following them. Not when I come to your place and now say the head 4 people when I'm not prepared to go and carry. So these are the little things we are trying to tell them to be embedded into the platform. For example, now, Victor, if you are going home and your colleagues want to follow you, or you have a visitor that wants to follow you home, It's very simple. When you request, you put 2, 3 people that is following you. So when the driver sees that, he will prepare that, okay, I'm coming to pick Victor and 2 other people. So he will prepare it that missing 3 people.
Right.
Not like now that only one person requests and you see 4 people, see 5 people.
So let me ask you, how is it done in other parts of the world? Is it not the same?
It's not the same. For example, let me pick UK as an example. In UK, when you request, you will know the person that you request and where you want to, pick those people. And the major problem we have in Africa is that, we are very community people. On UK, if they don't invite you, you don't go to their house. Talk less of, bring a car and they follow them too. So, and apart from that, there's a serious data scrutiny that you cannot see intruder to come into play. In our own case too, I have a claim to us too, in the sense that most of the people that register in our platform as a driver may not really be a driver, and the fault is from the hard companies that they did not do the well providing.
Okay, so it means it's an all-comers affair. Anybody can come in at any time.
Yes, that is it. So, and this thing is very, although we are developing and we are moving forward towards this system, see, the fact remains that we need to analyze the data of people that want to be a driver and want to be a rider, and the hard company needs to do that. But they run away because of competition. They run away because they don't want people, to take too long to get the hard, request on their platform. We have told them all these things to put it in their platform, which is very easy for them to do. But because of competition, because of all this talk of irregularity in the system, make them not to do it. And it's endangering our driver every day. We lost driver nearly every time on the road.
Which is quite unfortunate. All right, Comrade Ibrahim, let's talk about the benefits and, of course, the potentials of this sector, the app-based workers. When you look at the industry as it is today, what can it really generate for Lagos and, of course, by implication, Nigeria?
The GDP of transportation is very high. And I can tell you for free that in our industry, if we put everything right, it will generate a lot of money to Lagos. Even as I'm talking to you now, it's generating money for Lagos State. For example, the road development 40 naira each ride we took from the road is being go to the Lagos State government force. But the problem we have about that is, even who audits the Uber? Are they paying correct amount of money to the Lagos State? Who audits roads? Are they paying correct amount of money? We want our government to get money, but those money must be accounted for accordingly. And they want to be involved as a union. Government should let us know this money they are removing, what is the benefit for us too, and how we can, partner together to judge together to see how they can make use of this money they are getting in our environment. But what the government see now is that we have companies that give those money to them. They don't see us as a driver that make that money to happen. And the second thing we want the government to do is that we want government to audit the data platform of Uber and Bolt to know how much really the driver that is there. I can tell you for free, from our data that we get, we move 2 million riders in Lagos State every day. Is it the same 2 million they pay to the government? We don't know. How many of these are put to the Uber? How many of these are put to the Bolt? So these are the areas we need to put first light on. We need to clarify it, and the government can see it. For the government not to involve us on it, they cannot get it right. At the same time, we still come back to us and we can be able to put all these things together. We want our government to get money. And because if they get this money, that is why they can do the good things for the citizens.
So you're saying now,
money, how do they want to do it?
So you're saying now that what those app companies are paying the government is just a tip of the iceberg?
Yes. Because I can tell you for free that they know the actual amount of driver on those platforms, which is no. I'm challenging the Lagos State government if they know the actual database of how many drivers on the Uber, how many drivers on the boat, how many drivers in HRS, and other half companies. They should print it out and let us see. We have all those things. But we need to work together one way or the other. Government need to realize that we are the one that do this. And we do it not only locally, we do it internationally. If you hire from Nigeria, can be coordinating South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, and what have you. We know all this stuff. Why we cannot use that experience on our own? Because the government is not every year. That small money they are giving to them, we think it's something. We have way of money in this industry, and it can increase our GDP, it can increase income of people more than what they are thinking they are getting when we put it together. I'm not saying it to mutual Uber, or what I'm trying to say is to let us just know how this system will put. Let's put it in the table. Let everybody understand how this thing is being flowed, so that people can really have confidence in government, have a confidence in the platform, and have a confidence that, okay, the work we are doing is not going in vain. At least the government can recognize one day that we contribute to the development of Lagos State. But now, they don't see us. Because when you are collecting the development money from our rights, you're supposed to have a place for us to recognize us, to call us, and to encourage us, and help us too to move forward, so that tomorrow the government can continue to.
So what you're saying now is that you've not had any engagement in kind of engagement between government and your union?
Yes, we have not asked. And at times, I did not put every blame on the government. I put some blame on our company too, because the way the our company arrange those things, they want to blackface us out of the government and tell the government, look, we are the one that give the money to you, but they are not the one that work the money to give to the government. We are the one that suffer in the street days and nights. Some of us doesn't go home to see our family for a week. We sleep in Nigeria, we sleep in the Koyi, we put everything in our boots. Government needs to know that. And we want the government to get what is due to them. But at the same time, government must recognize us too that these guys are the ones that work, not Uber.
All right.
They just use Uber as a platform to get the money.
All right then. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM on Lagos Transport Trends and Perspectives. We're looking and properly trying to situate the place of app-based workers in the transport equation. And joining me on the phone line this morning is Comrade Ibrahim Ayuade, who is the General Secretary for the Amalgamated Unions of App-Based Transport Workers of Nigeria. Getting back to the roads, most of the areas are still looking good. We're heading towards the island. The Third Mainland Bridge is still very accessible. Ikorodu Road is also receiving with high vehicular density at this time, even though we have some flash floods on the roads. And same for those of you navigating through Ikeja as well. All right, then, so you can also join the conversation. You've been hearing from the Secretary General. What do you make of his contributions so far, and how do you think we can appreciate the work that they do better if you make use of those app-based transport, those app-based workers, so to say, the drivers, where you have to use an app to book for a ride from one location to the other? You can share your experience with us. Let us know what you think. 091 5387 7127. That's 081 5387 7127 or 080 08099120777. Okay, that's 08099120777. Those are the numbers that you can connect with us. Comrade Ibrahim, I know sometime in March, you guys were threatening to embark on a strike. Did that eventually take place, or what happened?
Yes, it took place, but in a different way. We hope our app. It's not that kind of protest we normally do on the street. We tell our members to work their app and just to show the kind of making the companies to lose money for that particular period, so that we know that we are very important to their platform. And that is exactly what we did. And there's a lot of things on branch. Our industry is very, very sensitive and very high-tech, and we continue to find a way of pushing. When we're supposed to fight them, we fight them. When we're supposed to sit with them, we sit with them. But it's like they are not touching to even hear the other side of the story that we are trying to tell them. They are just focused on how they make their money and forget about rest. For example, I just celebrate to celebrate the 8 years of me driving with Uber.
How many years?
Uber since 8 years.
8 years
driving with Yes, driving with Uber, and I lost 4 cars for those 8 years. It's not improving. So in fact, I made some, press statements in which is online concerned to it. I'm not really blaming the platform totally 100%. In any environment that involve, interaction of two people, you cannot just put blame on a particular aspect of people on that place. So, but platforms have a lot of work to do to assist us in this, and at the same time they will make their money too.
Okay, then. I'm having some messages. I'm having some messages here for you. 09153877127 and 08099120777. This one says, "Good morning, Victor and Conrad Ibrahim. Can you break down how earnings are split between the driver and the platform?" Irabo is sending that one in. Irabo, thank you so much. So, how are the earnings split? Hello.
I did not get that part very well. Sorry.
Okay, it says, Comrade Ibrahim, can you break down how earnings are split between the driver and the platform? That is, how are they commissioned, or is it what you make? How are they split? How are they shared?
Yes. Yeah. You see, the commission is not paid to this day. And the reason is that, when you have, it's telling you that when you drive like 20 rides, your commission will come down to maybe 20% or 10%. But let's take the repart of 25%. Every ride you pick from Uber is getting 25% of it. So that is to say, if you take 1,000 naira ride on the Uber is taking 25% from that money. That's their commission. At times 30%. At times, that's 2%. It's not stable. So these are the areas we have concern with. So it's very straightforward and direct. Depends on how much the trip is pop up from your plan. This is how business is being calculated. And apart from that, we as a driver, at the end of the day, if I work, I pick like 10 riders a day. I do manual calculation by myself to really know how much the company remove from my commission, which will never ever, be the same with the one that our company will give me. When I wrote them, they will tell you that the ride you take and is on a card. That's one you take is the card they give you. So at the end of the day, they will tell you the story, the reason why they have to pay those money. So it's not like this that area we want us to make it open and clear for a layman to understand his income. The major problem now is that you cannot really know your income that is coming to you with the work you are doing.
All right, then another question here says, "Good morning, everyone. Please, sir, can you talk about how surge pricing affects both drivers and passengers?" Thank you, Ifeanyi, in sending that one in. So a lot of times when we want to book, you hear surge. So how does that affect the driver? How does that affect the passenger?
Yeah, the surge. You have mentioned something in your program this morning that the rain is falling somewhere at Lagos Ibadan Expressway, right?
Right.
So where on that particular stations, the more car will not come out. But the platform wants you to come out, they will increase the price for the rider. And the user will pay by them because the rain is falling and you want to get to where you are going at the same time. So that is where pop up the surge. Surge does not come without problem. Let me put it like that. That is a problem, whether in the night, whether there is a serious hold up that keep away the driver from section. For example, now if the people are coming up to the mainland from the EI during the closing of hours, and in the evening that the mud car is not much in Ekoyi, they will increase the source. They will increase the money. The meaning of source is to increase the money of the ride that you want to take. So these are the times they bring all the shots. And most of the time, when the platform say that they don't have much driver on the road, they flag the fake search to the driver to just come on board. When you come on board, when you pick in the search area, it will still give you the same amount of money in a regular time.
Which is quite unfair.
So these are the things. Yes. So see, these are the things that it needs to be put in the perspective that
all right.
understand.
Charles is connected with us. Charles says, what happens when a driver is unfairly suspended or blocked from an app? What can he do? Charles from K2. Thank you so much. So, do you have that kind of situation where drivers are unfairly blocked?
Many. Let me give you a typical example. Let's say, for example, now you pick a rider, and that rider doesn't want to pay you money. And he has made up his mind that he will not pay you money. The trick we take is to provoke you before you get to where he's going, so that you can have a grant to complain about you that you are very rude. For example, now, if we have pop up that many people does not even know in our system that there is no arrangement for transfer. You know, there is no arrangement for transfer. Transfer is between you and the driver. The driver may take it, he may not take it. But for example, many riders do not know that it's not the offense for a driver not to take a transfer, because what the system says is that card or card. These are what is C and C of any hard companies. There is nothing like transfer. So, you know, in the situation that says you don't take the transfer, the rider will take you an offense and you book or something, and you know, you forward this to the platform.
Which is quite unfortunate.
Yes, and this is where I'm taking you down to the function of authority.
Right.
You know, there is no cross-check. There is no interface between human being and that decision.
Okay,
that's what we are fighting for now.
Let's begin to round this off right now. But a flash update that is coming in from the Orile Gomu end says there is a truck that collided with another tanker while descending Alaka Bridge inwards to Tal Bridge. Traffic managers on ground trying to see how they manage that situation within that particular corridor. So take note of that, those of you that are within that end. All right, so as we round off, what's your message and what do you think should be done urgently to ensure that you drivers that are for app-based workers, so to say, are properly recognized and the entire ecosystem of app-based transportation is much more improved in Nigeria? What's your message?
Yeah, my message is very direct and simple. The Lagos State will recognize that we are the one that pay those 40 naira development fee. They should find a room for us to encourage us, to talk to us, to make us know that we are part of the system that contributes to the Lagos State government. And for the Nigeria as a whole, I pray that the ILO convention will come up next year, and Nigeria should prepare to ratify it immediately so that we can have the directions in our industry. For now, we don't have directions. People are just doing whatever they do. It's a free market now. Everybody are just doing whatever they like, and it's not helping everybody. It's not even helping those companies. It's not helping us. It's not even helping our customer, which is the rider.
Right.
So we need to see how we make this work.
Okay, then. We'll leave it at that for now. It's nice having you join us all the way from Abuja. Thank you so much for connecting with us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, then. So he's Comrade Ibrahim Ayuadi. Of course, he's the General Secretary, Amalgamated Unions of App-Based Transport Workers of Nigeria, AUTON. And this morning, we've been trying to locate their place in the transport equation of Nigeria. We have to go. The program has been produced by Dayo Anthony. I say a big thank you to Remy Aluko. In the studio this morning is Omolola Balogun, right? Omololaidu. All right, then. And of course, I say a big shout out to our executive producer, Taya Conley. We do appreciate you as well. Tomorrow, we'll return for your side mirror. But till then, this is Victor Oteri. Have a great day. Bye.